Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting the like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story comes from Throwaway London Mum from the Relationship Advice subreddit and says, I, female 44, hired an investigator and have discovered my husband's male 47 affair and sex addiction. What on earth do I do next? My husband, male 47, and I, female 44, have been married for just over a decade, and it's been, for the most part, a loving marriage centered around our two beautiful children. Of course, I've had grievances. He travels a lot for work, is constantly glued to his phone, and sometimes would abruptly pop out for errands that he has always been incredibly vague about. Initially, these didn't concern me too much. He has a very demanding job that has allowed us to have a lifestyle I never thought possible. Meant that I could leave work to be with the children, take us on wonderful holidays, send children to a great school. I always felt that complaining to him about his work, phone, computer, and random emergencies would be so selfish considering everything he does for us. However, 2 weeks ago, I started getting really suspicious after I'd found a condom inside the pocket of his blazer. There was no reason for him to have it there, as we only have sex at home, and frankly, it isn't something we do as often as we used to. This prompted me to do something I never thought I would do, but I found an opportunity to get into his phone when he wasn't looking. I'm not sure what I was looking for. I first looked at his photos but couldn't find anything. Then I thought I would check his messaging apps, WhatsApp, Telegram. Both were password locked, which I found very odd. Only iMessage could be accessed, but there was barely anything there. At this point, I had a sinking feeling something was up. Last year, a friend was in a similar situation and used a digital investigator to learn more about her absent and secretive fiancé. The investigator found out that this man had been living a complete double life with a long-term girlfriend in Edinburgh, and unbelievably, a whole business he had set up and was earning money from. She had no idea about the business or all the money he was earning from it, and no doubt spending on his girlfriend. I asked for the investigator's details and requested that they pull together anything and everything they could find about my husband. The investigator spent about a week digging online and came back to me with a report that changed my life forever. I got a call from the investigator, warning me that my husband's report would be a very difficult read, and I should open it in private at a time when I would be able to process it fully. Since I received it, I've barely been able to eat, sleep, properly take care of the kids, or speak to him, and yet he is so absent-minded he doesn't even realize something is wrong. It turns out that my husband of over 10 years has been 1. Having an affair with a woman 15 years his junior, 2. Financing this woman's lifestyle and her failed business venture, 3. Attending sex parties with her, where they have sex with other partners, 4. Posting in a revolting online sex forum, including pictures of his genitals, and details his addiction to porn and escorts to his creepy online friends. 5. Based on this post online, has clearly been spending thousands on escorts as far back as 7 years ago. I have no idea where to go from here. I don't know what to do. I have no idea how to confront him about this, or if I should see a lawyer first. I know the obvious decision is to simply divorce, but our children are 9 and 7. I've loved him since we first met 14 years ago, and I know that I have a place in his heart too. In spite of these actions, if he is truly an addict, then maybe there is a way to get through this if he agrees to treatment. I'm a complete mess, and I can't talk about this to anyone in person just yet. Any advice you have for me would be really appreciated. The top commenter said on this one, therapy will not work because he clearly is reveling in his addiction and secret lifestyle, and he shows little remorse for it. Escorts, sex parties, and financing a mistress is way too far. That man does not love you. You're a live-in caretaker for his children and home that he occasionally has sex with too. Lawyer up, protect your own finances and lifestyle, and your children's future. Chuff to the Muff says, this is true. I have someone who was in this exact situation and later found out the man had exposed the kids to porn and also molested one of them. The person OP thought she married does not exist and is a mask for the real man who is cheating, lying, and stealing time and financial resources from the family to pursue his own selfish desires. Couples therapy does not work for these kind of people. It only helps them manipulate others and shift blame better using therapy speak and the hopeful and forgiving nature of their partners. It's going to be hard, but the sooner OP comes to the realization that she now knows who he really is, and this is not some aberration of behavior, the better for her and the kids. Buddy Inevitable says 1. Talk to a lawyer before you do anything. 2. No, this is not something that will be fixed or cured via therapy. Therapy only works if the person does the work. It isn't a magical cure that resolves giant issues just because you schedule an appointment and show up. The reality is you have been married to someone who's capable and willing to lie to your face systematically. Therapy doesn't just fix that. In fact, if he has a personality disorder, which I suspect based on your post about his behavior, he likely will never change. 3. Do more research into pathological love relationships. Briefly, ask yourself these questions. Does he have difficulties with empathy, egotism, exploitativeness, aggrandized sense of self, distorted perceptions of self and others, self-serving, boundary violations, blame shifting, low remorse, low accountability, motivated by power, control, personal gain? Just a brief place to start exploring who you're actually married to. 4. Talk to a lawyer and a therapist before doing anything. Someone who specializes in pathological love relationships ideally. And for me, it always comes down to that trust in the end. How do you trust someone who's done that time and time again? And I can just never see a way past that. I know it's not the point, and I'm not trying to play down the situation or anything like that, but who the bloody hell's got time for that sort of stuff? It just sounds exhausting, but OP comes in with an update and says, this is an update to my original post from around a month ago. Firstly, I'd like to just thank almost every single one of you who have commented to leave me advice or message me privately. I took a lot of advice on board, especially legal speaking, and this has proven to be of great benefit. I apologize for my long absence and lack of replies. I hope the update below can explain it. I chose to wait until after New Year's as I did not want to rob the children of one last Christmas and New Year's holiday as a family. In the meantime, I researched solicitors and sought recommendations from trusted friends. Rather humiliatingly, I did, after much urging on this website, also schedule and go through with an STI test. It was horrifically embarrassing, but I'm relieved to say that it came negative. I don't know how I could have coped if he had gotten me sick because of his revolting actions. He made my job incredibly easy by flying out for a work trip. Not that anything he says could ever be trusted. On the 2nd, and I immediately got the ball rolling. Met with a solicitor, packed up all of his belongings into 6 suitcases, had changed the locks, and spoke to a child psychologist to work out the best way to explain things to the kids, who are far too young to understand the full picture, of course. Fast forward to a week later, and upon his return, I, having made sure the children were picked up by my mother after school, greeted him in the hallway full of suitcases and divorce papers. I printed out the report in full and started walking him through it before he started breaking down in tears. It was a compulsion. He was unbelievably stressed, and that if I left him, he would have no choice but to marry the other woman. What? Whereas he would end it immediately if I were to take him back. The last part was truly the nail in the coffin. I don't think he even realized just how manipulative a comment that was to make. After hours of back and forth and of his groveling, he gave up. He was left at the bottom of the stairs in the entrance to our home with his suitcases, waiting for a cab to take him God knows where. There is still a lengthy legal process ahead, and unfortunately, it turns out that him being unfaithful, etc., doesn't really impact how assets might be divided following the legal battle. However, I'm confident that my solicitor will get the outcome I need to keep the house and live independently. In terms of the children, I'd rather not discuss them so as to keep it private, but it's been an incredibly difficult adjustment and sometimes I do feel guilty. As for myself, I'm still completely heartbroken and frankly, I don't ever hope to find love again. I just don't think I can quite trust like that again. Finally, I'd just like to add that while most comments have been lovely and supportive, I did get a number of comments and private messages blaming me for my soon-to-be ex-husband's behavior, claiming I did not give him sufficient sexual attention and that I shouldn't complain because he provided me with a certain lifestyle. Firstly, these comments are awful and portray a repulsive worldview with regards to sex, intimacy, and marriage. Secondly, our railing sex life was not my doing and was at times and criticism I myself had of our relationship, not the other way around. Thirdly, just because someone provides you with a lifestyle doesn't entitle them to treat you as if you were nothing, with no respect and no honesty. I would have hoped all would be aware of that. Absolutely, you did the correct thing in this situation, was left with little choice. What was that comment he made though? Like you said, it just felt like pure manipulation that if you left him, he'd have no choice but to marry the other woman. It's like, well, crack on then. And of course, it's going to be sad for the children for some time. They're having to adjust. They're not seeing the full scale of what's going on. But whatever happens going forward, OP, I really do wish you all the best. You said you don't ever hope to find love again. I mean, it sounds to me, it's your future. You need to do what you need to do, however you feel, etc. But it just feels like everything's pretty raw at the moment. And of course it would be. Holy shit, discovering all that. Of course it's going to hurt. And it's going to take some time. But I really do wish you the best moving forward. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. And before we do get into the next story, there is a trigger warning on it of body shaming. So if you do want to skip it, please feel free to do so. Timestamps are always down in the description and on the timeline below. This one's from Coco Oh No Throwaway, who says, "Can you ask someone to lose weight for your wedding? My friend, 33 female, is a personal trainer and just got engaged to another personal trainer. All of their friends were met through the gym that they both work at. I've known her since we were both 5. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm a US size 10. So I'm not obese, but I'm definitely on the fatter size. I'm very comfortable with who I am, and my doctor is too. Well, tonight she called me with the best news. Her fiance and her are putting together a great workout and meal plan together for me. They figure if I drop 20 to 30 pounds, the wedding pictures will be more symmetric. She was so happy and excited, like she was doing me a favor. I wasn't even sure what to say, so I just hung up and haven't responded. I'm completely flabbergasted. This isn't a situation where I constantly bitch about my weight and then get mad when someone offers to help. I've never asked for help. I've never mentioned wanting to lose weight. They both just kind of took it upon themselves to help me. Obviously, I'm going to opt out of being a maid of honor, but at this point I'm not even sure I want to go now. How would anyone think this was okay? I honestly have no idea how to discuss this with her. I feel like it's much more the fiance than her. How are these people real, man? How'd you ask a question like that you sit there, you discuss it with someone, and at no point you say to one another, that's a fucked up thing to ask someone, isn't it? You sit there and you talk about it and you think, I wonder if this is going to offend that person. How does that not cross your mind? Is this the right thing to be saying to someone? Should we be doing this? Hell no, I am pissed off for you, and you're absolutely right to step down as maid of honor. And if I was you, I wouldn't just put this down to just the fiance as well. You know, she's got a part in this. She's discussed this. She's come up with this plan at the same time. And that's your friend of nearly 30 years chose to make this call. The only weight you need to lose is that bloody friendship. Ooh, sassy Mark. Clement Cat says, call her back and tell her you thought about her symmetry issue and have decided you can just be in the center of every picture to make it even. No weight loss needed. Which OP laughs to. Upvote Giver says, she should be to your left and husband to the right. Douche on both sides is symmetric. Unscripted Mischief says, what the actual fuck? No, that's not okay. A real friend would never ask that of you either. OP responds saying, that's why I'm so flabbergasted. I've been best friends with her since I was 5. Almost 30 years. And either the fiancé is a lot more controlling than I realized, or she's not the friend I thought she was. Just my impression says, so they care about symmetrics more than the friendship. All about image. No friend. I'd decline to participate. That is so callous and inappropriate of them. But you sure sound like a great friend, OP. OP says, I texted her last exactly what I thought and said not to waste money on sending me an invite. Well, we'll be busy that weekend. My husband wants to get a sitter and find a nude beach somewhere to show me off in. Lol. Kodo says, what did she say back to this? We need updates. OP says, happy cake day. Honestly, I have 47 unread texts now and a voicemail saying that she made the front page of Reddit, and that's not what she meant. So much for a throwaway account. Lol. Oh well, but to answer your question, I have no idea. I chose to walk away for a few hours to make sure I handle everything with a completely calm head. Jilbo Wagon says, and quotes, they figure if I drop 20 to 30 pounds, the wedding pictures will be more symmetric. And then says, oh, fuck her. You Had Me at a Taco says, seriously, fuck her so much. This was such an arsehole move. I'm so shocked that this trainer friend thought this was remotely okay. Piccadilly Porch says, trainers and elite athletes are the worst for this though. They're just trying to help and they see it as the same as a friend with a truck helping you move. They have something, you need something, so of course they help. They have no idea how condescending and judgmental it sounds. As if we're such idiots we did not think trying to eat healthy and exercising without them suggesting it. I'm surrounded by elite runners in my life and I guess I'm a bit bitter about people endlessly trying to get me to run because they're just trying to help. OP responds saying, I texted her last night and she tried to say she really thought I was just too embarrassed to ask for help and this was the time to do it. So I told her not to waste money on sending me an official invite and it was time to find a new maid of honor. Tom Jones says, that's like a drug counselor thinking you were too embarrassed to ask for help with a meth problem you don't have. OP says, oh my god, I need to tell her this. So OP did come in with their update and they said, so wow, that post blew up. I ended up deleting it because my friend lost her business over it. She had told a few of her close clients her plan. When it blew up and ended up on Facebook via different news outlets, they were able to put two and two together. They decided they didn't want her to be their personal trainer any longer. That was never ever my intention. Although I feel bad. Play stupid games and win stupid prizes. Anyway, her and I talked in length. She admitted her true motivation was having before my wedding photos and after pictures, her wedding, of a normal mum transformed into a fit mum. She was also planning on having crop top dresses. After 3 pregnancies, my abs are quite separated and she wanted to help. She realized her motivations were selfish. She knew I would decline, so she'd hoped presented this way I would do it for her. But yeah, her concern was never my health. She admitted that multiple times. To address a few things, $2,500 plane tickets were for a family of 5. I've also never hinted at wanting to lose weight. She knows I'm very comfortable with who I am. Also, my doctor is very happy with where I stand. I received many very strange messages and comments telling me my doctor is lying to me. I can assure you, my doctor would make a lot more money telling me I was fat and needing to run extra tests. So he's not going to lie about my health. That's about the exact opposite of what a doctor does. My husband is not a sexist pig for saying he wanted to show me off at a nude beach. He's my biggest supporter. He just meant that I don't need to hide and I'm beautiful the way I am. The fiancé wasn't behind this, but he's pissed that I wouldn't just do it for her. He literally said, tell her anything over a size 4 is disgusting. Oh dearie me. In the background when I spoke to her. So good luck with your winner there. After we spoke, I've decided that I'm just going to go to the wedding and not be in the wedding. My family will stay home. She feels terrible, but we've been friends for almost 30 years. I'm also not going to fly out for her showers and bachelorette, which I would have done otherwise. This really put our friendship in perspective for me. She had stepped back a little since she got serious with her fiancé, and I didn't realize the extent of it. He has some strong views on hating anyone over a size 4, and I realized she slowly picked these up as well. I have no idea what the friendship holds after this, but I still want to be there to cheer her on for the wedding. But I don't have to be immersed in every aspect. MM172 quotes OP saying, I've decided that I'm going to go to the wedding, and says, wow, all I can say is that you're a way nicer person than me. Because if the original proposition wasn't enough to end the friendship, finding out I've been made the centerpiece of a promotional campaign without any input on my part would have sealed the deal. OP says I'm trying to be the bigger person here. Honestly, this may be the beginning of the end of our friendship altogether, or we may be friends for another 30 years. I want to go, just in case we do end up getting closer again. If we don't, it's a weekend in my hometown with no kids and free booze. Bago Nuts for Sale says, what about the $2,500 in plane tickets? OP says, only I'm going, so it's only $500 for my ticket. Plus, if it's just me, I have places I can stay without putting people out. Don't have to rent a car to accommodate everyone. Idler2 says, and quotes, he has some strong views on hating anyone over size 4, and I realise that she slowly picked these up as well. And then says, as someone who's very much into powerlifting and looking good, absolutely fuck this guy. He's an utter and complete douchebag. OP says, I feel like a douchebag is the nicest term I would use for him. I didn't think about it until all of this came up. It says cake up and immediately I can't stop thinking about cake now. But the last few times I visited her at her house, she was dressed to the nines in a full face of makeup every second. When she visited me without him, I don't think she wore anything but yoga pants and her hair up. So there's a lot going on there. Lake Lady says, thanks for the update, and I hope you're able to be there when her marriage to this jerk disintegrates. Opie says, this was a main reason I want to go to the wedding. He may not have spearheaded this, but his ideals are definitely a factor. If she gains weight during a pregnancy or something, I have a feeling he'd be less than supportive. If this all crumbles, I want her to know I'll still be there. If you knew her before him, this whole thing would have been shocking to you. So there's still hope she'll find herself again. Like the one commenter said, I think you're a better person than me, OP, but I can certainly understand your concerns about this, especially the way that the fiance or husband, future husband, has come into this with his views, and especially him being a personal trainer as well, with the mindset he has, and he's going to be pushing this onto people, and the potential damage he could cause with the way he talks, saying anything over this is disgusting, etc. If he talks to clients in that way, fucking hell. I understand where OP's coming from. We talk a lot about leaving the door open for friends who's, potentially in relationships that look a bit iffy when you're outside looking in. Yes, she's been absolutely fucking awful to OP. And like I said, I think OP's a better person than me because I don't think I'd be talking to her right now. But OP knows her friend. She's been with her for 30 years. She says this is shocking behavior. So I can understand where she's coming from, and fair play to her for that. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.